3 years ago, I was a portrait photographer landing 0 clients, no solid portfolio, and worst of all, no clear goal with what I wanted out of my career. Do I want to be creative, become a photographer that shoots fashion editorials and campaigns for brands? Do I want to do safe and commercial work? Do I want to do headshots for actors or entrepreneurs? And if I knew what I wanted to do, how would I even pursue it to become successful at it? Well, fast forward to today and I've finally figured out what I wanted to pursue, and I've turned that into a profitable business. Working with brands, and I'm creating work that I'm truly proud of while landing regular clients. So how did I do it? Well, here's a mini step-by-step guide to help you make the same progress that I did, but much, much faster, landing your next client. And by the way, this guide is only a small fraction of the full step-by-step guide, which is top link below. That's going to help you turn this hobby as a portrait photographer into a full-time business. So if you're interested in that and want to speed up your progress even more, then just click the top link below to check it out. Step 1, find your niche. Okay, so let's say you're set in stone on portrait and fashion photography, like you want to take pictures of people or products, etc. Now we have to delve even deeper within the genre and discuss what do we want to pursue within the genre. Is it headshots for individuals like actors and entrepreneurs? Is it more corporatized headshots for like employees for LinkedIn profiles? Or is it on the other spectrum and it's like the fashion editorials, the ad campaigns for brands? It's extremely important to establish this now because you don't want to spread your focus too thin. You don't want to start by doing headshots and editorials and then you're not going to make progress in any of them and become successful at none. And if you don't quite know what niche you want to pursue and stick to, then try them all. That is completely fine, especially when you're in those earlier stages. Don't be afraid to be inconsistent and a jack of all trades, so to say. Like, you want to try everything out and see what you like the most. If you're going to discuss my journey, for example, in the last few years, I tried more fashion related things. I also did more like portrait, individual, like headshot type of vibes. I did loads of different creative concepts, etc. And obviously I've found now that I want to kind of stick to the fashion side of things. Like, I even went to the extent of like reaching out and assisting a bunch of these big photographers within these different subgenres, so I kind of know what it's like at those bigger levels within those subgenres. So I would assist photographers who do headshots, I would assist photographers who do more like fashion editorials, magazine shoots, etc. And by the way, the course I have linked below, I'm planning on making a module where I discuss exactly how I make these connections in the industry and how you can assist people, specifically big photographers where you can gain a lot of experience from. So if you want to make those connections, then click the top link below. And then obviously once you've found that niche, let's say it is like shooting for ad campaigns for brands, you want to stick to that as much as possible. Don't try and do these other things. Like, obviously, could you do headshots alongside the fashion stuff? Of course, but you want to try and stick to one thing as much as possible because there's different skills and different requirements of a portfolio for each subgenre. So if you want to stick to fashion and stuff like that, you want to really only do fashion shoots from now on, because now you know what it's going to be like to shoot for a product in mind. It's very different. Like, if you're shooting a fashion, like an ad campaign for a clothing brand, that is very different to doing a headshot session with an actor or an entrepreneur. Because with an entrepreneur and actor, when you're doing the headshots, you're focusing more on them, focusing on the personality, the model, whoever's in the frame. But the clothing brand shoot is going to be more focused on the products. Obviously, yes, the model is in the frame, all that stuff, but you're mainly focusing on the products and what you're selling. So yeah, stick to one and just master it as much as possible. And that leads us on to step 2, experimenting. So once you've found that niche, it's time to experiment within that niche. Again, don't be afraid to be inconsistent because you are in those beginning stages or earlier stages, so you need to figure out what you want to do. Like, again, if you're going to look at me, if you look at my old portfolio back in 2023, 2024, I may put the photos on the screen if I still have access to them. It was very inconsistent. There was never a really consistent style to my work, but they were technically good photos, but yeah, there was no consistency to it, and it was just like a clutter of photos essentially, which again, completely fine, because I'm in that experimental phase. I'm still figuring out what I want to do and what type of shooting that I want to go for, my style, etc. And this is the stage where you're actually going to find some people trying to hire you for photo shoots, because you are sticking to this one subgenre now, you are getting better at it, you are slowly building up your portfolio, which clients want to see and clients will hire you. So what do I mean by experimenting? Well, it's about experimenting with every single aspect of your photography. Experiment with your lighting, experiment with your styling, what the model's going to wear, what type of model you're going to shoot, the location choices, the set design, the color palettes, etc. Everything you can think of, because your style is going to be extremely important to establish as a portrait and fashion photographer, because that is what is going to get you the most bookings. That's what is going to help you stand out. So we need to define a consistent style and a unique style. And your style is literally everything. Your style isn't just like your lighting and that is it, and your color grading, but it's literally everything in the frame. Like, if you heard this French term in the film industry called mise en scène, it literally means like everything within the frame, like everything the audience can see in that like still frame of a film or whatever it is the mise en scène. And it's the same with your photography. Your photography is everything, and it isn't just your lighting and color grading. So yeah, when you're experimenting, you want to experiment with every single aspect of your photo shoot. So for example, I was experimenting with different lighting techniques. I was trying out, should I do some like really cool like high contrast or moody lighting? Should I do something more like high key and more beauty look? Like, I was trying out everything, and I've obviously finally, you can see my portfolio, I finally found my consistent lighting style. And I think your photography is kind of like your relationships in a way. Like, if you've been dating for a while now, like you've had a few girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever it is, or you've been on dates, whatever, your preferences have changed throughout the years, most likely. And that's because you think you like this type of person in a partner or whatever, then you get with that person or you're on a date with that person and you're like, actually, I don't really like that type of person in a partner. It's kind of shit. I actually prefer someone like this. And then you change your mind and then you get with that person and you're like, I actually really like that. And then you just find out new things about yourself. Like, you think that you really like this thing in someone, but then you go with that person and it's like, actually, I prefer this instead. Like, that happened to me, you know what I mean? Like, so it might be happening to you, and it's the same with your photography. Like, you think you might like this certain lighting technique or certain like style of shooting, or let's say you thought you wanted to do headshots, but now you've done them and you're like, actually, I prefer doing like fashion editorials, I prefer doing like ad campaigns for clothing brands, etc. And then you make that transition. But you won't know that until you try those things. So obviously I'm telling you to experiment and like try out everything that you would be interested in. And then after this phase, once you've mastered that subgenre and mastered your style and kept it consistent, plus the high quality photos that you're creating, you're guaranteed clients. And if you're finding the video useful so far, you might as well check out the full guide in the top link below, the Portfolio Mastery. It's an in-depth step-by-step guide learning everything that you need to know about becoming profitable as a portrait photographer. Just like I've been able to do, I give out all of my industry knowledge and pass it on to you, so you're not wasting months or years twiddling your thumbs being like, what do I do next? How do I build my portfolio? How do I price myself? How do I network and find people to work with to eventually lead to paid shoots? Like, you don't know any of that stuff, so I want to teach you all of that so you have a clear path to your success, so you know exactly what to do. Like, I give you clear action steps to take, and if you follow them, and yeah, you're going to be making progress and you're going to land your next client. So if you want to turn that into a reality, then click the top link below to check it out. Step 3, marketing. I wish I knew this so much sooner, holy shit. Stop marketing yourself online as a jack of all trades photographer. Now, not just like within portrait photography, but even outside of it. I see people, I made the same mistake when I was first starting out. I was like, I'm a portrait photographer, but I'm also doing events and weddings and sports or whatever it was. And when you do this, jack of all trades, you're a master of none. You're not very good at anything. And because the truth is, and I found out through my own experience, that high quality clients, high paying clients, or just even clients in general, want to see a specialist. They want to hire someone who's really good at this one style of things. So the first 2 points I'm talking about, find your niche, find that subgenre, and then get even more niche within that subgenre. That is where the high quality, high paying clients are going to come from. Let's say you needed brain surgery, for example, and you've got 2 options. You've got the first option, he's a brain surgeon. This person is like specifically a specialist in brain surgery. They do your type of surgery like all the time. They know exactly what to do. This is like their normal routine, but they cost 10 grand. Or the second surgeon who's much cheaper, let's say they're like 2 grand, so like 8K off, but they are kind of like, they're like a jack of all trades surgeon. They do like all types of surgery. They do bone surgery, brain surgery, kidney surgery, I don't know what, everything like that. And they're not so comfortable with doing it. They can do it, but it's not like 100% success rate, for example. You're obviously gonna pick the 10 grand option if you can afford it. Like, you don't want to get brain dead, do you? So you want to pick the person who's actually guaranteed the success rate. Like, you're going to guarantee that you're going to not get brain dead by the end of the fucking surgery. So even though the first option is so much more expensive, because they are a specialist, you're going to more likely hire that person because you're kind of guaranteed results. And it's the same with your photography. If a client is looking at a couple of photographers and you're the jack of all trades photographer that does everything but is much cheaper, they're actually going to pick the more expensive option for the most part. So first things first, obviously stick to portrait photography and the subgenre within the portrait photography, so you can put all focus onto it, you can master it, and you can become the best at it. And then second of all, market yourself as that specialist within that subgenre. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm a portrait photographer, but then you market yourself as everything else. Like, you have to also market yourself as just that one thing. Like, I remember I was speaking to one of my students on my program, by the way, top link below, you can check it out. And he said to me, oh, he's been doing some fashion related things and everything like that, but he actually wants to make that transition into shooting like lifestyle headshots and portraits. So that is what he wanted to do, like portrait related things. And I was like, cool, do that. But I told him, you now have to market yourself as only that thing. Like, don't think, oh, I'm gonna make that transition into being a headshot photographer, a portrait photographer, but then you still got a bunch of fashion related stuff on your profile and on your portfolio. Like, how are you going to make that transition? You can't do that, because now you're less likely to get hired by some people because you don't have that many headshot stuff on there. You have more fashion than headshot stuff on there. So how can you expect people to hire you for headshot sessions? So I told him, from now on, you need to make like this brand switch and be like, okay, I'm a headshot portrait lifestyle photographer, whatever you want to call it. And obviously that will attract a very specific type of clients, the type of clients that he actually wants to attract. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because it even happened in my case too. Like, even in the last few weeks and the last few days and months, I've been offered these jobs which have nothing to do with my style of shooting, and I've given them my rate, because I still, just because it's not my style of shooting doesn't mean I wouldn't want to do it. Like, it's still a lot of money at the end of the day. Obviously I would love to work on it, right? So I'm still giving up my rates, whatever it is. But I notice with those types of jobs, I'm rejected like 90% of the time once they hear my rates. And I don't think it's because I'm too expensive or anything like that. I just think it's because that my portfolio does not reflect the project that they wanted me to shoot. Like, obviously, if you look at my portfolio, it is a lot of studio stuff. It's like fashion related studio indoor interior work, and I'm getting offered these shoot jobs for some reason on campaigns that for companies and brands that are like outdoor lifestyle stuff. And it's like, I'll still work on it, like that'd be cool to do, but because that's not my specialism, I'm way less likely to be picked, and they're gonna pick another photographer. Like, I literally had an inquiry the other day and they were like, oh, we've gone for someone else now, because the job was nothing to do with like what my expertise is. And I don't think it was anything to do with my rates or anything like that. Like, I was charging too much, because I've charged those rates before and people gladly have paid me. I think it's just been because that is not my expertise, and they pick some other photographer who specializes in like outdoor lifestyle type of work. So no matter how good your work is, I believe my work is extremely good and extremely professional. Obviously, it can always be improved on, but I still think it's extremely professional and high quality. If it doesn't match the like style of shooting that client wants, they're way less likely to hire you. Again, they asked me for some reason. I don't know why they asked me, but it's just fine. They asked me, it's cool, but because it didn't reflect my specialism or my style, I'm way less likely to get picked compared to the plethora of photographers that specialize in like that style. But imagine if a client messaged me about a studio shoot in a very specific fashion project or whatever it was, I'm very likely to secure that job after I give them my rates, because that is my specialism and they can justify paying me that much money because they can see my work. It's like, okay, I'm guaranteed some good results from this person if we do a studio shoot. But yeah, even if you look in the past, back in like 2023, I used to market myself as like a portrait plus event plus a wedding photographer or something like that, and that was never successful. I never really saw much success from that and many bookings from it. Like, I would get the occasional booking, but it usually was like very low paying because, again, when you're marketing yourself as a jack of all trades, you're going to be attracting quite a lower quality clients that can't afford serious rates. So they're paying you a very little amount of money that you can do it, but it's not sustainable at the end of the day. And you can literally make 10 times more money pursuing one genre and just doing less jobs in that one genre than doing a bunch of jobs at a bunch of different genres at a lower price. So yeah, I just don't want you to make that same mistake that I did, thinking that like, oh, if you market yourself as a jack of all trades and do everything, that you can get more bookings. It's not the case at all. And you can get a clear path to your success and land your next client with the Portfolio Mastery course in the top link below. There's already people on the program making serious results. They have 9-to-5 jobs. They have university degrees that they're working towards, meaning they have very little free time, yet they're still making serious progress. They're still landing clients and it's going great for them right now. Like, they're slowly building it up, and eventually I can see them quitting their job or anything like that and turning this into their full-time career. You can see the modules on the screen. You can see what I'm covering: pricing, social media marketing, like networking, like everything you need to know about how you can build your portfolio, everything. I may not be this super advanced and rich photographer getting paid like 10, 20, 30K a month, but I have nevertheless turned this into my full-time career. I don't have like a part-time job outside of this or anything like that. This is my job, and yeah, I'm not as quote unquote reputable as these bigger fashion and portrait photographers who make 10 times more money than me, but they're trying to teach you how you can charge 10K instead of 5K for a photo shoot when you're not even on a couple $100s yet. You know what I mean? Like, why would you listen to them? I believe I am the best photographer on this platform that can teach beginners just like you land your next client and make some more money. You haven't even secured like a $500 photo shoot yet. You know what I mean? Like, you need to stop thinking, oh, I'm going to learn from these bigger guys and like whatever. They're trying to teach more advanced people like me how they can turn like their few grand shoots into more grand shoots. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here trying to teach beginners how they can make money from literally completely nothing. So if you want to join the program, and if you want to make serious progress, then click the top link below to check the course out. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. Like, subscribe, comment. Click on this video right here to learn more about portrait photography. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.